All right, everyone. Somebody determined that it was a good idea to print out a bunch of life-sized stickers of Trump's Hollywood star. Like, they must have scanned it or something. And then they printed a bunch out and they started sticking them around around Hollywood on the sidewalk. So I think part of it might have been to confuse vandals. That is, if you weren't looking close enough, if you were just sort of, casually going by, unless you're willing to stop and look very suspicious by inspecting every star, you may not know which one is actually the real Trump star. Of course, it's been destroyed several times and replaced. It's been like vandalized, has to be scrubbed down probably every day of all the spit and the anal effluence of all of the social justice warriors who constantly attack it. But I think it's a novel idea, if only for the purposes. What they should do is have a really, really high quality scan of his Hollywood star made, so other people can have stickers of it printed out too. Like, can you just like order them online, like giant stickers or something? Probably we should get something like that going. People should stick them up on, where legal to do so, in full disclosure and disclaimer here, not saying to vandalize anything. But generally speaking, stickers and chalk and stuff it's not really permanent, tends to be okay for the most part if it's on the public sidewalk. It tends to be. Some localities or states might have ordinances against that. I think here it's okay, I think. But it'd be interesting to have a bunch of those available. People get them, they like get a ream of them, and then they just sort of go out at night and then start sticking them on the sidewalks of their hometown. It'd be hilarious if it were coordinated enough to happen on a single night, so that in the morning, like, everyone's like, "Wow, what the fuck just happened?" It would be really, really funny because it would definitely get into the news at that point. And it might show that Trump has a little bit more support, honestly, than some people think. A lot of people think he's got no fans left. They don't know anything about polling, I guess. They don't study RCP. Now, it could have something to do with the fact that for some odd reason, both Bing and Google put RCP after Nate Silver's results. And Nate Silver, he was, again, I think... in the last election there with O'Connor versus what's-his-name, the Republican there who won, they found a trunk full of extra ballots and now his lead is only like 90 votes or so. That's bullshit. That's an attempt at fraud, and it won't actually, I think, work. Not that it doesn't really matter because like they have to redo it in November anyway. Who fucking cares if they even do defraud the election? Doesn't matter. Nate Silver said, well, obviously O'Connor is a heavy favorite, and then like 5 minutes later the race was called for his Republican opponent, his Trump-backed opponent that was down like by double digits before Trump showed up. Yeah, the Trump effect is real in some parts of the country. In the Ohio 12, I guess it worked pretty well. But these stickers are definitely a novel idea. This sort of activism can actually work because it's sort of like a silent statement. You're not sitting there grandstanding and like saying, well, I know Trump this, Trump that, politics or anything. Bigotry, activism, social justice, or Putin, spitting out a bunch of bullshit. You're just leaving a sticker there. And, it'll basically come off on its own over time. It's not really harming anybody. They should make it biodegradable, though. That would be good. Develop a fully biodegradable sticker and get those made. Don't use, like, plastic and stuff, because, save the whales, dude. A turtle could eat it or something, or an ant. I feel very kindly towards the animals filling the ocean with plastic. It kills a lot of them, including whales. They, eat plastic bags until it clogs their guts up, and they shit them back out and die and stuff. It's just really fucked up. But no, I think the general premise is a good idea. This is the sort of activism that actually works, because it's not harming anybody. It's not totally in your face. It's almost like an artistic statement or something. It would have been even funnier if they'd simply take these stickers and cover up the other stars with them, but then it would be vandalism. Because those are allotted to other people, and you're like covering them up, and that'd be negative towards the other people. It'd be funny if they put one on the stars of people like, what's his name, De Niro or something. Robert De Niro's star covered up by Donald Trump. That would be slightly funny. The thing is, a lot of people may not even notice it first. Like, unless they're actually looking specifically for a specific star, or they've been there for a million years and, they probably don't even notice. As long as it blends in kind of with the star that would be underneath it, a lot of people wouldn't even know. You could cover up all the stars with Donald Trump and it would be pretty funny. But of course, you might get punched in the head by some Antifa members, because I know they probably have a heavy presence in that area, because, it's a wealthy area. that is extremely liberal. That tends to be where you get Antifa. They're not from the lower class liberal areas. They're from the gated communities. They have mommies and daddies that can bail them out of prison, in other words. Otherwise, they wouldn't be in Antifa because they're fucking cowards. No, the general premise is pretty good, though. You know, no people were harmed in the course of the activism. It got people talking. It was amusing. That's probably the most important, is it's amusing. It mocks, it seems, the lamestream sort of Hollywood culture that's like, well, we need to erase Trump and deplatform everyone. Censorship is good. You know, 1984 is meant to be the user manual. That's sort of how they've devolved into. And it looks like they're increasingly, even within their own, you know, fortified areas, their own strongholds, like Hollywood Boulevard or something, even there they're facing some degree of pushback against their stupidity. I think that's a healthy thing. I think that these very, very sheltered individuals who they've never been in a poor area, they don't know what it's like to be like working class, they live in an upper class area, they're upscale, penthouse dwellers. They need to be confronted with the sad reality that they don't speak for a consensus anymore, that they speak for an outdated 90s era consensus that was totally situational, totally prefaced on an era of time in which people were under less stress, and the worst thing that you could think of was the president getting a blowjob. That's really how the gated community liberals still think. They're kind of like Reaganite yuppies. They're the sort of people that tell you to trim your lawn shorter while at the same time rambling about saving the whales and stuff. It's really hypocritical. That's about all. Peace out.